So what is it like living with a Brabus E-Class? The best place to start is to understand what the car is. Two turbos forcing air into a V8 engine is not a new recipe. Mercedes has been playing that game since the M157 released back in 2010. As a whole, the E-Class is quite unremarkable. It envelops a large range of luxury cars, some which are diesel and incredibly frugal, some typical sedans, some hybrid electric cars, and some sports sedans. It also envelops some coupes and a cabriolet. Each of these cars are built off of the same platform but are designed for different audiences. It's supposed to be your personal luxury vehicle that is designed to take you and 3 other friends in complete comfort from maybe the yacht club to the new restaurant in Laguna Beach. And it'll do that job smoothly and quietly. Well, in that case, then why are there huge 6-piston brakes and ventilated rotors? And why are there lightweight wheels forged by AMG? AMG never made an E-Class cabriolet. So this is where Brabus comes in to save the day. Brabus is a German tuning company that makes faster versions of the fastest marques. They saw an opportunity AMG overlooked with this cabriolet. At the time, this was the most luxurious, most expensive, and fastest 4-seater convertible you can buy from Mercedes Benz. And there wasn't an AMG version? That's practically sacrilege when it comes to Mercedes, because anytime they make an expensive car, you will find an AMG version of it. Brabus decided to make 3 different packages for the top-of-the-line 550 version of the Cabriolet. These packages were to be sold at specific dealers for a limited amount of time. The first one is a crazy V12 engine swap producing over 800 horsepower and making it the fastest street-legal cabriolet on the planet. Sadly, that's not the one I've been living with. The second one had the gorgeous Brabus body kit and exhaust, along with the ECU tune to make a 550 horsepower, 600 pound-feet of torque beast of a car. And that's not the one I've been living with either. The third option is a sort of sleeper. It uses the Brabus ECU tune, making over 550 horses and 600 pound-feet. However, they left the rest of the car looking mostly stock, but mostly besides from the AMG wheels and the huge brakes on it, it's hard to tell that this car's even been tuned. And yes, that is the car I've been living with. So this car shares the same chassis as the hypothetical yacht owner's E-Class. However, this car is for someone who wants that refinement, but with great speed. The car is very quiet thanks to how the twin turbos act with the exhaust. So when you pass the sub $100,000 AMG Mercs, things like this CLA45 and a C63, which you will, I guarantee it, you won't feel like you're trying at all. And in many ways, it's hard to be conscious of the speed you're carrying until you look down and you see a number that in America will put you in jail. And that all comes around to the mentality of this car. It's not a track weapon, and it's not a V8 that revs out to 9,000. Its mountain of smooth torque is what gives you that graceful feeling of speed without feeling like you're driving a race car. It actively tries to lower your blood pressure, even when going 160 miles an hour. Everything about this car is designed to be effortless. The steering is easy. It hands you your seatbelt. The seats are not only heated, but cooled as well. And you have something called an air scarf. What that does is it takes a vent in your seat by your neck and wafts air around you gently to keep you warm in case it might be, under 70 and, for California people, that actually is cold. Operating the top, up or down, just tap one button and you're done. And you can do it up to 30 miles an hour in case the light turns green and you still want to go. Even turning the car on is an effortless experience. The ignition is next to silent, and all you hear from the exhaust is the slight whistle of the turbos over the low rumble of 8 cylinders firing away. In many ways, I think this is a perfect garage partner to a Lamborghini Huracan. Okay, now hear me out. When I say the Huracan, I'm more or less referring to any loud, fast, luxury, supercar, or sports car. It could be a 911, it could be an R8, it could be a 570S, etc. You get the idea. This car is fast enough to be comfortable to that type of buyer, while quiet so then they're not having their ears bleed in every single one of their cars. And having those aspects in a 4-seater is not so bad for when you can't use your beloved supercar. And it looks the part too. With the elegantly aggressive face and the body lines, this car can roll up to any valet or any party and look right at home without being too ostentatious. It also has a ton of space in the boot. Even with the top down, you can still stick a couple of suitcases in there. Another thing I noticed is that with the top up, the car is just as quiet as any normal E-Class. So you can easily forget you're in a cabriolet when it's raining out. However, when the sun comes out and you're right by the beach, drop the top and it's a totally different experience. There's a quote from the Jazz Age where F. Scott Fitzgerald and Ernest Hemingway are having a drink at a party in Paris. Fitzgerald turns to Hemingway and says, "You know the rich are very different than you and I." To which Hemingway replies, "Yes, they have more money." This car is an example of Fitzgerald's point. If you look at it realistically, the car is nothing more than a drop-top 2-door sedan. And there are many, many, many other options that are not over $100,000 for that type of vehicle. However, there are options that are very similar to the car you're seeing on screen. For example, the Maserati Gran Turismo. On paper is a very similar car, but when you drive it, you quickly realize, like the BMW 6 Series, the Bentley Continental GT Speed, the Ferrari California, it is a big, loud sports car bordering on supercar in certain trims. Because this Mercedes is not an AMG, it doesn't compete with those other cars. It's actually in a completely different class of car. This car is soft. Everything about it is effortless. The suspension is not designed to hammer a road, but to make it relaxing for you. And even though it's fast, it's a gradual, beautiful crescendo of incredible speed. Perhaps you see where I'm going with this. Because another car that exists with similar features and ethos to this Benz is the Rolls-Royce Dawn. Think about it. It is a large, soft, quiet, luxurious, exclusive, composed, elegant, stately, turbocharged, and fast cabriolet. Sound familiar? Living with this car is special because the car does not actively beg to get your attention like other cars in this price point. It is a relaxing experience to drive or be in as a passenger. When it comes to the speed, it feels like an exercise in the smooth delivery of a lot of power. And it is these differences to AMG, other brands, and even the rest of Brabus that makes this car so special.